Hi, this is Leo, and this is my KFI podcast. This show originally aired on KFI AM 640 in Los Angeles on Sunday, April 23rd, 2006. Thanks to DSL Extreme for providing the bandwidth for this podcast. This is show 242. Leo Laporte, the tech guy, KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. Let's go to Massachusetts. Michael on KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. Hello, Michael.
Hello, Leo. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
I've got actually looking for some suggestions, I guess. I've got a website. It features a webcam with a fish tank made out of an old G4 Cube case.
I love it. What's the URL now? I got to see this.
It's www.WozCam.org.
Oh, you're in the chat room right now.
Yep.
Name
the fish after Woz.
WOZCAM.org. All right. Are you a student? Are you a student at Williams, or are you?
I'm not. I'm staff. I'm in the IT staff.
What a beautiful college that is.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
I get to manage the media studio, so I get all the high-end equipment to play with as well.
Well, now this is almost a live. I mean, this camera is almost full streaming. I mean, I can see the bubbles coming out of the filter there. The fish doesn't. The fish doesn't seem. The fish isn't moving, but
he was alive this morning when I fed him.
He's not doing anything.
I'm at home right now. Otherwise, I'd bang on the tank to wake him up.
Oh, he's just sleeping, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
I hope so. He's not floating. So that's cool. And by the way, there's a great history of that, because the original commercial browser Netscape, for years had its own Netscape aquarium that was on a spy cam.
Mm-hmm. I remember the coffee cam, too.
And the very first cam was a coffee pot at Cambridge University in England. And the reason the geeks did that is they just didn't want to walk down the hall to see if there was fresh coffee made, so they put it online so they could check it.
Exactly.
That's some history.
So my questions, I'm using the site trying to raise money for the American Cancer Society. I'm in the Relay for Life, so I'm trying to increase the number of hits.
Great idea.
So I'm looking for suggestions on doing that, other than getting on a nationally syndicated podcast with the Uber geek himself.
I think you've done quite a bit just now. This has become the plug show. I don't mind that. I think that's great.
I tried press releases to local newspapers, but that seems to be a black hole. So
it's the number one challenge. We were talking with Ben and about his podcast, and the two challenges of doing anything like this. Yes, it disintermediates. Yes, you can do it yourself. But the two things that a big network provides, or a record label provides, or a motion picture studio provides are what? Distribution and marketing. So we talked to the last caller. We're talking about distribution. Where do you get the bandwidth? What formats? And now with you, Michael, we're talking about marketing. How do you get attention? And that's really tough, isn't it? Because you're not the only spy cam out there. There's millions. Oh, hey, Woz woke up. There you go. I'm relieved. He really was lying still for a while. Okay.
And that's another thing with the other webcams. Most of them are adult oriented.
Well, that's right. They get a lot more.
That as well.
I was going to say cleavage. That's the key, right? Just more cleavage, and you'll get more attention. It's unfortunate, and I think that really isn't. It's funny because having worked in TV for years, whenever ratings are low, that's where TV executives go. How can we make it dirty? And it's always disappointed me. I think it's best to maintain the high ground. So you're using EvoCam, which is the same software I use for my webcam. It looks really good. You've got on a radio show to promote it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's about it. I mean, how do you get people to look? I have to be honest with you. The content isn't so compelling that you're going to get 1 million people telling their friends, "Oh, look, there's a goldfish."
Right. Yeah. Once people find it, though, they do keep coming back. I've noticed in the log. So, there's a certain demographic. I think that it's soothing, or it's just a neat thing, and they'll call in to see if he's floating belly up today.
Well, and I think that's ultimately that's what people are going to have to rely on, is how compelling is your content. You can solve the distribution problem pretty easily. Things like Libsyn or borrow Williams bandwidth. The larger issue, the more difficult issue is marketing. We talked a little bit about this yesterday, guerrilla marketing. But ultimately, and this is what Google says, by the way, people are always saying to Google, well, how do I get better rankings on Google? Google says the same thing: make better pages. It's really pretty simple. And I think there are tricks there are things you can do. You can call a radio show. But ultimately, the only way to really be successful in creating your own content is to make great content that somebody wants to listen to. And the more people who like it, the more people listen to it, the better off. You don't have to go sexy. Just go better. Or call me, WOZCAM.org. Good luck, Michael, and I hope you raise a lot of money for your Relay for Life. 12:49, 11 away from 1.